Is Azerbaijan a terrorist state? Are they using illegal war crime tactics by using munitions that have been banned by the Geneva Convention? Well, the simple answer is yes and no. All right, everybody. I just want to start this off by saying I'm recording this on the night of November 3rd, which is Election Day in the United States of America, which everybody watching this is aware of and affects all of us. I did vote this morning, but I have called a media blackout. So I'm normally a political junkie, watching everything and reading everything and listening to everything, but I don't want to be distracted by that. I'm doing some important recordings, and I'll know tomorrow. You already know by watching this what happened. It'll all be a full day of revelation for me tomorrow. Now, so some of the commenters have mentioning the white phosphorus munitions. So let me just read a few things real quick. But subscribe and share. We're growing. We just launched this thing and we're growing. We've already tripled or quadrupled our subscriptions. But we're starting out, you're small. It's still small. We need to get bigger. So subscribe, pass this along, because it's important what we're doing here. We're talking about the fate of the world. Really, we are. All right. So this is Russian source, Russian news agency, and the Russian Armenians and Armenia and the Russians have been allied or have friendly relationships. So this is a Russian periodical. So Yerevan says Azerbaijan's forces used white phosphorus munitions in Nagorno-Karabakh. The enemy continues to attack peaceful settlements and civilian infrastructure, the Armenian government's United Information Center reported. All right. So Yerevan, October 31st, Azerbaijan armed forces used white phosphorus munitions prohibited by the Geneva Convention in Nagorno-Karabakh on Saturday morning, the Armenian government's United Information Center reported. In the morning, hostilities resumed in the northeastern, southern, and southeastern directions. The enemy continues to attack peaceful settlements and civilian infrastructure. The enemy used weapons containing chemical elements, white phosphorus, prohibited by the Geneva Convention, it said, citing a statement by the Defense Army of the Unrecognized Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. Okay, so I'm going to say there is a little propaganda here. I am on the side of Armenia. Trust me. I want Armenia to come out on top. I want Armenia to survive, to exist. This is like the threat of the elimination of Armenia, right? That's what's going on here. And so I am clearly on the side of that's the right side to be on: justice, preservation, a Christian nation, etc. But to say, and maybe this is just the Russians' point of view on it. I mean, they are quoting the Defense Army Nagorno-Karabakh say that white phosphorus munitions are prohibited by the Geneva Convention. That is not exactly a true statement, but let me just continue here. Azerbaijan, this is a public radio of Armenia, so certainly an Armenian source. Azerbaijan using prohibited phosphorus munitions against civilians in Artsakh. Azerbaijan using, as the current data confirms, phosphorus munitions over Nagorno-Karabakh, setting fires to the forest in the vicinity, civilian communities, Armenia's human rights defender Armen Tatoyan informs. All right, so this is clarifying. Let me show this video. This is what it looks like. And this guy's going to be talking. I'll mute it because he's speaking in Armenian and I don't. Maybe I won't mute it. So, I should mute it. Hold on. I'm going to talk over it. So this is what it looks like when phosphorus weaponry. So I'm going to read an official legal description of whether this type of munition is legal or illegal, if Azerbaijan is breaking the law, international law, by using this. Let me fast forward this a little. There's another one. So what it does is it drops and it sets things on fire. The uses of phosphorus, I mean, the United States uses it, etc. So if it's used in warfare, it's not illegal, but the illegality of it is not the fact of using it, it's how it's used. All right, just to sum it up. So you can click away now. That's the definition. Now, I just want to finish watching this. So this is forested area. So wherever this stuff is landing, it's setting stuff on fire, right? So let me read this. This is from Lawfare, Hard National Security Choices, International Law, the jus in bello of white phosphorus, getting the law correct. So jus in bello, I didn't look up what that means. It's a legal term, but I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm just going to read the conclusion. So this is some other U.S. Air Force Douglas A. Skyraider drops a white phosphorus bomb. This is 1966. Yeah, that looks kind of dated. So this stuff's been used, and it's usually used, they say, to either conceal your troop movements because it lets out smoke, or it marks targets. So it's the smoke part. Right, it's this stuff burned, but it leaves up smoke. So the purpose of this white phosphorus is smoke, and as a result, I mean, one of the side effects is it burns pretty bad, and when it gets on your skin, it is the worst thing. You don't want it to get on your skin. But as far as the legality of warfare, right? That's what we're talking about here. When can it be used? And here's the bottom line: it's not illegal to use in war. People are getting distracted by saying it is, that it violates the Geneva Convention. It's a banned munition. It's actually not. Focusing on the actual law of war violations and not on the munition, right? That's important. Focus on the actual law of war violations and not on the munition. The foundational rule in the LOAC is that parties to a conflict must at all times distinguish between civilians and combatants, and attacks may be directed only against combatants. That's what we're talking about here. Deliberately attacking civilians who are not making a direct part in hostilities violates the Geneva Convention, Hague regulations, and customary law. As several reports have indicated, Turkish attacks in Syria against the Kurds have caused numerous civilian casualties, including children. Right, this article is over a year old, and it's referring to another conflict, but it's defining this particular use of white phosphorus. As with incendiary weapons, and this article says, white phosphorus is not an incendiary weapon and not a chemical weapon. It's not a weapon in general. But it is. This article talks about napalm, which is an incendiary weapon. But as with incendiary weapons, white phosphorus munitions and all other weapons making civilians or the civilian population the object of attack is strictly prohibited. Moreover, by focusing on the munition and not the established principles of targeting, critics risk allowing the actual violations of the law of war and potentially the crimes against humanity Turkey may be committing to be eclipsed by a sensational yet senseless debate over white phosphorus. Every effort should be made to investigate instances of civilian casualties to determine if Turkey, or in this case Azerbaijan, has committed violations of international law, regardless of the weapon used to do it. All right, so that's enough from this article, but this is really good. I'll put it in the link. This goes into detail about the difference between different chemical weapons and when it's legal to use them and not. So to put to bed the argument, white phosphorus is not violating the Geneva Convention. It's how it's being used. And I'll go back to this article here and read exactly what is being asserted. The Russian article is a little bit off. The result of human rights defenders' urgent investigation and fact-finding activities of Artsakh Ombudsman have not only confirmed the fact, but also revealed that during days and nights, many civilians are hiding in these forests from Azerbaijani military attacks. These munitions used against civilians by Azerbaijani military forces have clear effects of mass destruction of environment and are therefore forbidden under international law. So this Armenian article boils it down, and it's in... It agrees with that other article. It's like, it's not the thing itself, it's how it's used. So this is forested area. If the cities are being attacked and bombed indiscriminately, then the people are hiding out in these forests. And so this looks to be, I mean, why would you drop these just randomly out in the forest? This isn't a military target or anything. They're just And it's not just one time. This video shows them dropping it twice, at least in this recording. You know, I watched it, made sure it wasn't a replay. Like, this is the first one landing, and then later on he aims up. You can see another one in the sky. You even hear it. I muted it, but you hear it. He's looking, and then they pop again overhead. I mean, you'll see it right there. See, this is a second attack. So they are dropping this stuff on this forested area. So this is terrorism. This is a terrorist state. It's a terrorist state attacking innocent civilians. So the answer to the question of whether Azerbaijan is a terrorist state and resorting to terrorist tactics is yes. But white phosphorus isn't banned. All right, click subscribe, share this video, get the truth out there.